Welcome to Papa Nick's Music. I am, as always, your host, Papa Nick Lewis. And today we are talking about Yacht Rock. Oh, spring is almost here. I mean, the birds are singing in the trees. There's greenery sprouting up all over the place. There's pollen everywhere. It is spring. Speaking of pollen, it is spring. And because it's spring, that means we're getting dangerously close to the time of year where I get to lounge in the pool and sip Schofferhofer beers while listening to music. Schofferhofer, that's good beer. That is good beer. And so that means we got to start talking about music to sit in the pool and sip beer to, which means we're either talking about Yacht Rock or we are talking about Martin Denny and Tiki Lounge music. And I think we'll start off with Yacht Rock. So today I'm going to give you my top 10 Yacht Rock songs with a couple of wrinkles. Wrinkle number one, I'm not shooting for a true top 10 here. I think my top 5 are going to be pretty close to my top 5 here. I mean, if I did an exhaustive scientific survey of every Yacht Rock song ever. But we're talking about a pretty wide field there. So I think my top 5 are good, at least in terms of artist. I don't know about the actual works. But my goal is not to give you my cut and dried, hard and fast, tried and true, salt and pepper, frick and frack, Heckle and Jekyll top 10. My goal here is to give you kind of a sampler. So I'm going to give you the top 10, the 10 really good Yacht Rock songs. But I'm actually going to give you 20 because I'm going to give you the top 10, which are classics, the songs that everybody thinks of when they think of Yacht Rock. But for each one of those, I'm going to give you a more obscure alternative that you can listen to if you want to dip your toes further into the briny seas of Yacht Rock. Briny seas. No, briny? Briny? What the hell is briny? So we've actually got a top 20 if we want to be picky. Before we get into the top 10/20, though, we've got to talk about the subjectivity notice. Artistic appreciation is by nature subjective. There is no such thing as objectively good or objectively bad art. There is only art that I like and art that I do not like. And as long as we keep that in mind, this is a wonderful conversation. As soon as one of us starts thinking that one of us must be objectively right, if you don't like this song, then you don't know anything about music, that's when the conversation goes off the rails, and that's when one or both of us will be invited to go piss up a rope. I don't want to have to do that. You don't want to have to do that. So let's not make that mistake. Let's just remember this is all subject to personal taste, personal opinion. We also very quickly want to remind ourselves that the unofficial sponsor of Papa Nick's Music is Schofferhofer Beer. We're back to the traditional grapefruit. I drank my last Happy Pack beer earlier. It was passion fruit. It was very good, but grapefruit. The one that started it all for me, Schofferhofer. Oh. I could drink this stuff all day long, and I am not exaggerating for comic effect there. I love that stuff. So let's get into our top 10 Yacht Rock songs. Before we get into this, very quickly, let's talk about what Yacht Rock is. There are some gray areas there. What counts as Yacht Rock? What does not count as Yacht Rock? And as far as I'm concerned, there are 2 words that I use to describe any given Yacht Rock song. I want to use both of the words, but I have to use at least one or the other. And the first word is smooth. Now, smooth in this context means that it has something of an R&B element to it. The emphasis is on melody rather than beat. It's smooth. It glides, right? So I want it to be smooth. The second of the words is lush. Yacht rock is lush rock. It's full. It's got a lot of instrumentation. It's you know, borderline orchestral, right? So we're looking for smooth. We're looking for lush. This to me is yacht rock music. And all of these, we're in smooth and lush. And I'm kicking off with not just a song that I'm going to put a more obscure tag along to, but I think my number 10 song here is, I don't know that it's going to be in a lot of people's top 10s when they think of classic yacht rock songs. If you go to virtually any streaming service and find a yacht rock playlist, chances are good this song will be in there, but it's going to be buried. It's not going to be in the top 4 or 5 in the list. And that is the Atlanta Rhythm Section's "So Into You." I love this song. Man, this song is smooth. Oh, I am so into you. Oh, smooth. And I love kicking off with "So Into You" because this is not California, right? Normally we think of yacht rock, we think of California, we think of Los Angeles, we think of the 70s version of what the Wrecking Crew did in the 60s, right? That is yacht rock. We got to have Larry Carlton in here, right? We we really prefer to have Leland Sklar in there. I mean, you've got a cast of characters that show up a lot in these songs. And the Atlanta Rhythm Section's not. No, they're Southern rock. But "So Into You" is that's a great yacht rock song. Number 10. Now, my obscure alternative is another Southern band. Probably, I'm willing to bet, among the last, say, 5 or 6 bands you're going to think of. If you just think of the phrase yacht rock, you're not going to think of the Charlie Daniels Band. I mean, come on. But in their 1980 album, Full Moon, they've got a yacht rock song, and it is South Sea Song. If you do not know the South Sea Song, take a listen to this thing. You're going to know it's Charlie Daniels as soon as he starts singing, because he's Charlie Daniels and he got to sing the way he sings. But the music is fantastic. I love the South Sea Song. It's actually a pretty darn good album. I like the whole album. But South Sea Song, my alternative number 10. Okay, coming in at number 9. Number 9 is the slot that I had for the artist that you hear the song and you think, okay, I like this song, but I can already tell I don't care about anything else this artist does, right? Yeah, they are a one-hit wonder, right? Whether they're actually a one-hit wonder or not, you're relatively confident when you listen to this that this is going to be the only song by that artist that you're going to like. And, my number 9 yacht rock song by an artist that I knew the first time I heard it that I really liked the song and that I was absolutely in no way, shape, or form interested in following this guy for the rest of his career is "Steal Away" by Robbie Dupree off of his self-titled debut album, Robbie Dupree. "Steal Away" is a pretty obvious ripoff of everything Michael McDonald was doing, both with the Doobie Brothers and as he verged on a solo career. I didn't realize that at the time, although, that's part of the reason why I liked it, is it sounded very Michael McDonald-y. But once it was pointed out to me that "Steal Away" was a Michael McDonald ripoff, man, it's all I hear when I hear the song. But it's still a lovely song. I think it's a great song, and I really enjoy it. It crops up a lot on the yacht rock playlists, and for a good reason, because "Steal Away," number 9. My alternative to number 9, my more obscure song that you hear that may not drive you to listen to the entire artist's work, is a song called "Somebody Somewhere" by Steve Mars. off of his 1982 debut album, Somebody Somewhere. I've actually, just within the past couple of weeks, heard this song for the very first time, and it's a fantastic song. I've listened to the rest of the album, and the album is not bad, but this song is fantastic. So yeah, it's Robbie Dupree all over again. Steal Away, Robbie Dupree, number 9. Okay, number 8. We've got, okay, we're not so much the smooth, we're talking the lush. We're talking about something that is complex in its production, that it has a lot of moving parts in the song. It is not orchestral. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that. There's just a lot of shit going on in this song. And my number 8 on the true top 10 is Moonlight Feels Right by Starbuck from their Moonlight Feels Right album from 1975. There's a lot going on in this song. A lot of keyboards doing a lot of different things, and that guy just wailing on that marimba. Man, fantastic. Moonlight Feels Right. A lot of stuff there. That's lush. And my more obscure alternative here, same thing from about, 6 years later, from 1981, Sweetheart by Frankie and the Knockouts. This is, we got a lot of stuff going on in here. We got a lot of keyboards going. We've got a lot of stuff going on here. Moonlight Feels Right and Sweetheart. Lush production. Coming in at number 6. Okay, from here on out. Nope. Number 7. Sorry. Let's redo that. Maybe I need another drink of Shovarova. Coming in at number 7. At number 7, I've got. I saved this spot for. I knew when I was going into this what my top 5 were going to be, right? And so I was out looking for songs that fit each of these slots. I knew, okay, if I'm doing this song, I'm going to find another song that matches up with it, right? And the number 7 slot that I had was for bands where I really, really like this band. Oh man, I really like this band. And they fit into the category very well. And I think that I will be surprised if I hear more than 1 or 2 songs by that artist in any given playlist. And that's a shame, because virtually every song they record should belong in there, right? These are bands that I really, really like. My traditional Yacht Rock classic for number 7 is Love Takes Time by Orleans. It's from their album Forever, which is a good album. I almost picked Still the One just so I could use this album cover, because is there a more 1970s album cover than this thing? But I like Love Takes Time better. I think it fits the category better. I think Still the One is Yacht Rock, but I don't think it's Yacht Rock cranked up to 10 the way Love Takes Time is. But I love Orleans. I love virtually every song they do. I really like Orleans. And my alternative to Orleans is the song Caroline by the band Young Gun Silver Fox. It's off their album AM Waves from 2018. I have recently been turned on to Young Gun Silver Fox. Thank you very much, Paul Bertolino from As It Should Be. You are right. Young Gun Silver Fox is fantastic. I actually have one of their albums here. I'm in the process of getting the other 3. They've only released 4 albums to date, and they are all fantastic. I've listened to them all. Now I'm just making sure that I've got physical copies that I can carry with me through the rest of my life. If you have not heard Young Gun Silver Fox, pick an album, pick a song, and dive in. They don't do any bad songs. They're all really, really good. But I'm picking, I'm particularly singling out Caroline from the album AM Waves. Love that song. Love that album. Love that group. Orleans and Young Gun Silver Fox. I love these groups. I love these bands. Okay, from here on out, I said a second ago my top five. I already knew who my top five were going to be. I had an inkling who the sixth one was going to be, and the more I started looking, the more I realized, yeah, that was going to be my sixth artist. From here on out, I'm sticking with the same artist for the obscure. I'm picking a song that the artist did that is usually in everybody's top 10 or top 100 or top however many they're doing. And I'm adding in the song that, if it were up to me, we'd be focusing on this one instead. So, at number 6, I have Pablo Cruise. I really like Pablo Cruise. I liked them a lot when I was young and they were popular the first time around. It's good, upbeat pop music, very well done. It's not going to change the world, but boy howdy, it sure makes the world a nicer place when you're listening to it. And my classic top 10 entry for Pablo Cruise is Love Will Find a Way from the World's Way album. My obscure Pablo Cruise song is from the same album, and this one I'm picking You're Out to Lose. I really like You're Out to Lose. That's a great song. But number 6 on my top 10 of Yacht Rock songs, Pablo Cruise. Pick a song. Coming in at number 5. You can't swing a dead cat in a Yacht Rock conversation without hitting up against Toto somewhere along the line. So I'm going ahead and I'm jamming Toto in at number 5. If I'm being honest, I'm thinking, yeah, I probably, if it's completely up to me, I'm probably going to swap Pablo Cruise and Toto, because while I like several individual Toto songs, I like both of these songs I'm about to list here better than the 2 Pablo Cruise songs I just listed. Overall, I like Pablo Cruise better than Toto. But we're going by the songs here, not by the bands. And my classic Toto song is, of course, Rosanna from Toto 4. Rosanna is a very good song. It's not my favorite Toto song, but it's a very good song. One of my favorite Toto songs that is my alternative number 5 is from the album Hydra, 99. Both have Steve Lukather singing, both have Steve Lukather doing wonderful guitar work, as every Toto song has Steve Lukather doing wonderful guitar work. They're both impeccably performed and recorded, because it's Toto, of course it's going to be impeccably performed and recorded. I just like 99 a little bit better than Rosanna. But we got to have Toto in our top 5, right? It's Yacht Rock. Come on. Coming in at number 4. Well, if we got to have Toto, we got to have Steely Dan. And if we're going to have Steely Dan, if I'm giving you the classic top 10, then the Steely Dan song of the options that I've got that I'm going to put in here is going to be Peg. The most of the lists that I have checked, the various people who have lists and various streaming services that have their playlists, Josie is usually included before Peg. Hey 19 is usually included before Peg. Trying to think of another one that crops up a lot. Time Out of Mind, surprisingly, comes up a lot. I think of that more as an album, not really a deep cut. I don't think, because I'm a big Steely Dan fan. None of them are deep cuts to me, but you know, FM comes up a lot. But of those that come up a lot, I think Peg is the best. It's the snappiest. It's the brightest. It's the lightest. It's the smoothest. I love Peg. But my alternative, if I'm picking a Steely Dan song that I want to put on this list, I'm picking a song off of Gaucho, and that is Babylon Sisters, which may be my favorite Steely Dan song of all time. I love Babylon Sisters. Oh, Drive West on Sunset to the Sea. Oh, man. Now, we're up to our top 3, and you already know who these 3 artists are. It's the Holy Trinity of Yacht Rock. Coming in at number 3, Christopher Cross, of course. And The classical Yacht Rock top 10 entry would be Sailing, or Ride Like the Wind, or virtually any other song off of his debut album, Christopher Cross from 1979. And I'm picking a song off that album to be my classical entry. But I'm picking Never Be the Same because I like that song a little bit better, and it hasn't been played into the ground the way Sailing and Ride Like the Wind have been. But yeah, I mean, throw a dart, pick a song, you're good. It's Christopher Cross, for God's sake. Like I said, he's the first leg of the Holy Trinity here. But if I'm going to pick a Christopher Cross song that I really want to stump for, instead of picking one off of his first album, I'm picking one off of his second album, Another Page from 1983. And it was the single that was released off that got the most airplay, which is All Right, which I think is just a fantastic song. I mean, right up there in quality with that first album. Second album, Another Page as a whole is nowhere near as strong as Christopher Cross was. But when it works gangbusters. I love All Right. So number 3, Christopher Cross. Pick a song. And number 2, okay, if Christopher Cross is one member of the Holy Trinity, the next member has got to be Kenny Loggins. You can't have a Yacht Rock top 10 without Kenny Loggins. And I'm picking 2 Kenny Loggins songs here. My number 2 on the classic list is the song that usually gets rated at or near the top of every, the best Yacht Rock songs ever recorded. And that is This Is It off of Keep the Fire. It's a great song. It's a perfect Yacht Rock song. I can't say anything negative about it, even if I wanted to, and I don't want to because I really like the song. But if I'm going to pick a song that to me is Kenny Loggins' contribution to music here, the Kenny Loggins song that I want everybody to go out and listen to instead of This Is It, it's going to be I Believe in Love off of his Celebrate Me Home album from 1977. I Believe in Love is just a very nearly perfect little pop tune. I love this song. It makes me happy. If I'm driving in the car, man, I'm drumming on the steering wheel, and I'm tapping with my left foot while I'm speeding up and slowing down in time with the music with my right foot. It's just, I love I Believe in Love. It's just such a great song. But Kenny Loggins, number 2. So, if Christopher Cross was number 3, Kenny Loggins was number 2, we all know who's coming in at number 1. He is the glue that holds Yacht Rock together. One of the surest indicators that it is a Yacht Rock song is you can hear that distinctive voice in the background, or you can very clearly imagine that distinctive voice in the background. This is the man who almost single-handedly created Yacht Rock with his body of work, and that is, of course, Michael McDonald. I love Michael McDonald. I've always loved Michael McDonald. I will always love Michael McDonald. He's a fantastic songwriter. He's a fantastic musician. He's a fantastic singer. I love Michael McDonald. And if we're going to pick a Michael McDonald song, we're going to pick something off of Doobie Brothers' Minute by Minute album, because that's like, the one of the testaments of Yacht Rock, of the Yacht Rock Bible. Most top 10 lists are going to pick What a Fool Believes. You got the double whammy there because it was written by McDonald and Kenny Loggins. So, but if I'm going to pick a song off of Minute by Minute that normally shows up on the top 10 lists, I'm going to pick the title track Minute by Minute. I think it's a slightly better song than What a Fool Believes. And it doesn't have quite the gut punch that What a Fool Believes has. Because when I was young and I'm listening to this song, it's bouncy and it's peppy, and I couldn't really understand what Michael McDonald was saying. Because he has a wish, and no fucking clue what he's talking about. But as I listened to him more and learned to understand, learned to decode the muffled language there, and came to understand what the words were, what the words to that song are, is just, it's a gut punch every time I listen to it. Minute by Minute is also a gut punch. It's virtually every song that Michael McDonald ever wrote is a gut punch. But that one it's not a concealed gut punch. I know it's coming. I can tense up a little bit so that it doesn't hurt as bad. But I love Minute by Minute. But if I'm going to pick a song that I really want to stump for, my obscure, as if there is such a thing as an obscure track off of Minute by Minute, which was one of the biggest albums of the 70s, my candidate for that would be How Do the Fools Survive. I love that song. I've always loved it. It is my favorite song on the album. I like the music. I like the lyric. I love Skunk Baxter's guitar solo on the outro. Oh, I love How Do the Fools Survive. So that's my top 10, both classic and obscure Yacht Rock songs. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think I got right. Let me know what you think I got wrong. I always love hearing from you. If you enjoyed the conversation, then I'd appreciate it if you'd click the like button. If you're interested in similar conversations in the future, then I would appreciate it if you would click the subscribe button and the notification icon. The folks at Schofferhofer would appreciate it as well. Oh, that's good beer. And again, thank you very much for sticking it out. I hope you enjoyed yourself, and I hope that the rest of your day is playful. See you soon.